Welcome back to Faith and Glam. We missed you guys.
It's your girl Ev.
It's your girl Stephanie. And we have a special guest.
Her name is Blackie.
Yeah.
The glasses on. She's like, excuse me. So today we're going to be doing something a little different. Today we're going to be cooking while answering questions about this pandemic and how it's been testing our faith and also taking our faith to a different level. So definitely stay in tune. If you guys are watching but have not subscribed, do that right now. And comment and subscribe. See you guys later.
Bye.
For measurements or spices, we have oregano leaves, garlic powder, black pepper, sazon, onion powder, goya, parsley, and salt. And we're gonna need oil to fry it.
We have some plantains.
And we're gonna make salad for later on. So get your lettuce, or celery, carrots, and a big tomato.
So we're gonna get ready to start washing it.
Make sure your water is warm. Not too cold, not too hot.
Hi guys. We are going to start doing a salad. So we already washed the vegetables for the salad. So now we're just gonna peel and chop up and prepare our salad.
Hey guys, so we're back. We couldn't record and cook at the same time. It was just too much noise. A lot was going on, so we just decided to take this time to just answer a few questions that we had and
make it a little bit more personal.
and just
sit here one-on-one.
share our thoughts. So the first question that we had was, How did you feel when you first heard about this quarantine?
When I first heard about this quarantine, I was like, the government is shutting everything down for 5 days. It's going to be a blessing. I honestly thought about it as a blessing. I was like, I need to catch up on homework. I need to catch up on sleep. I need to catch up on so much things. So I decided, I was like, okay, this is not going to harm me. The coronavirus is not going to touch me or my family. 1, because I'm covered by the blood of Jesus.
Come on.
And 2, I thought it was like, it's in China. It's not going to come near New York or Rockland County.
Yes, I remember you saying that.
So I was just fine. I was happy. I was excited. I was like, yes, time off. We barely even get time off that was permitted by the government, you know? So I was excited for the time off, thinking that I was going to have a week off. But we have more than that. But just hearing about the quarantine, I wasn't fazed. I was excited. I was honestly thought it was a blessing. What about you, sis? How did you feel when you first heard about
Honestly, I wasn't fazed by it. I actually was ready for it because I was like, listen, I need some time off. I need a time for myself. Like you said, I felt like it was more of a blessing.
I remember that night when we were like with Fuego and we were like, we have to like do this quarantine together. Like we were on the verge of literally being in quarantine all together.
Yeah,
like,
we're making plans.
Yeah. That's just one thing that I really love, that we were not fearful. We just knew Christ. And before the shutdown, we went to church and the sermon was Contagious Faith.
Yes.
That was just so good. It kind of like opened. Yeah, it stirred us up. It opened our like mindset on like, okay, so contagious faith. If I have faith, Ev will have faith. If Ev has faith, I will have faith.
And
so
if
it was
you have faith, everyone else will have faith.
Second question, do you have any testimonies or special moments that happened during the quarantine?
Actually, yes, I do. As many of you guys know, my dad is still in jail. When this whole quarantine even crazy and went viral, I kept on praying to God and said, God, keep him covered, or keep everyone that's in there covered. 2 days later, I get a phone call from him saying that his cellmate had coronavirus, but he was tested negative. So I'm just like, wow, God literally are just so good. You're such a miracle worker. You're such a God that keeps your promises. Like, you know, like he promised me that my dad's gonna be good, even inside there, you know. That was just a very special moment for me. Like, even though my dad's still in jail, and even though coronavirus is going crazy, my dad is covered and did not even get touched. Other moments that I had was just spending more time with my family, just being in fellowship, getting to know who my family really is also, and getting to know who I am also, and what God is like, you know, showing me and revealing to me and all these things. What about you, sis? What are your testimonies and special moments you received during this quarantine?
First of all, one of the most important testimonies that I have, and I shared this on my Instagram, was the healing of my dad. My dad came into the quarantine sick. He was in bed for 15 days. And it was tough. It was very tough, and I was getting like overwhelmed just with like just our family members just telling us what to do, and I knew that I just had to pray. That's just what I felt. And my sister was also feeling sick, and she was like, she tested positive. So it was just a lot. Within like 2 weeks, my dad was better. My dad was up and about. My sister was back to work. And that literally right there is just amazing, because both of my sister and my dad were sick, and my sister had coronavirus. The weapon may form, but it will not prosper, because everybody in my household is fine. Everybody is okay. My brother is back at work. My dad is back at work. My sister's back at work. And I just think that that's just one of the most powerful testimonies that I had.
That's good.
Another one was just the quality time that I spent with my family. Just learning how to cook and just sharing funny moments with my dad and my siblings. Doing TikToks, doing fun cooking events and barbecues and all these things. And then lastly, just sharing a word at the church. That was my favorite thing during this quarantine, because it unlocked that calling that God has on my life to share the gospel, to not be fearful, to go out and share the good news that everybody needs to know. If people find the good news to be something good for them, it will take them places. It will bless them. it will give them faith, like how me and Ev had during this whole time. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have faith, but just that fellowship that we both had, that community that we both had, we just were able to just share the gospel with each other. Hey sis, I'm doing this, I'm reading this part. Hey, I've read this devotional, you should read it as well. Like just
or hey, do you need prayer? Or let's pray together.
Those are, you know, a couple of testimonies and special moments that this quarantine has been a blessing.
Leads us to our third question. So what would you say is something you gained during this quarantine, whether it's spiritually or mentally or just the way how you see life now?
I would say that my prayer life has increased.
So good.
My faith has increased.
Yes.
My time in the Word has increased. And just, my relationship with God has accelerated to a whole nother level. This year has literally been a year of acceleration. Yes, there's been things going on around. Yes, the quarantine. Yes, people have died, and I'm sorry for everybody who has dealt with a passing in your family. But this quarantine has been nothing but a blessing in the aspect of me just growing with God and me just knowing that I can go out and not be fearful of sharing the gospel, because I am not afraid. I can go in my room and know that if I sit there and I spend time with God, I'm gonna get an answer from God. If I sit there, I'm gonna feel God's presence. If I sit there and I go with the mindset of, I'm meeting with God today, I'm meeting with God right now, I know that I'm gonna find God. I know that God is gonna be there. So what I'm gonna take from this is just the authority that God has given me. The authority that He has given me, the prayer life that He has increased in my time, and the time that I've spent in my room just praying. There's still more breakthrough. There's been a lot of breakthrough during this quarantine, but I definitely feel that I can pray for somebody now. I can share the word with somebody. I can encourage somebody and share with them my testimony and the faith that God has increased in me, and go out and share that with others. And just, you know, like how you said, and pray for people. If somebody needs prayer, I'll be confident in knowing that my God is gonna hear me when I pray and I ask Him for others, you know, because we don't only pray for ourselves, we pray for each other all the time. So I would just say my relationship with Him and just the gifts and calling that He has on my life has just opened up my eyes and just gave me a whole new perspective on life and just the gospel and my relationship with Him.
That's so good.
What about you, sis? What would you say is something new you gained during this time in quarantine, whether it be spiritually, mentally, or just your change on perspective in life?
The things that I've gained during this quarantine was honestly a lot of things. One of the main things that I've honestly gained was just the intimacy and the relationship I have with God right now. Because I know if this whole quarantine was going on, I would not pick up my Bible as much. I wouldn't pray as much. I wouldn't fast as much. I wouldn't do half of the things that I'm doing now if this whole quarantine was happening. Prayer life has definitely increased. Me spending time with God has increased, has definitely accelerated. Honestly, me just spending time and lingering in His presence just went to a whole different level. Hearing His voice has definitely became a lot more sensitive during this pandemic. I've been asking God, I want your voice to be a lot more sensitive. I want to hear you. I want to just know that you're speaking to me. And I feel like this time speaking to me, that He's definitely revealed to me was He's taken this time, this pandemic, to just make me whole. You know, getting to know who I am. So that is something that God is teaching me right now during this pandemic, is He's just making me whole. The few things that I've gained during this quarantine, and this quarantine isn't over yet, but I know God has a lot more to do. So we just want to encourage you guys to keep praying, keep having faith, hold on to the promises that He is telling you. You know, don't feel nervous, don't hesitate to hit us up. We want to be an open book for you guys. Share your TikToks, share your stories, share your faith with us. We love you guys.
We love you guys. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. We are an open book, like you said, so we definitely want to hear how you guys dealt with your quarantine, and some testimonies or stories that maybe were funny, and some testimonies maybe that God has exposed to you, because we love hearing what God is doing with each and every one of you guys. Love you guys.
That's a wrap.
That's it. That's a wrap, y'all.